Hi, I'm Houry, mom of two boys. My son currently does OT sessions at Hope Habilitation Medical Center. And I met Amal 7 years ago when I first became a mom. And within a year and a half of that, I discovered that my son had sensory processing struggles. During that time, I also discovered that I was a highly sensitive parent. So I'm here today to start a new season for Hope, where we talk to different experts on different topics related to sensory issues, speech issues, early learning, pre- and postnatal support. I'm here today with Dana. Dana is a parenting expert who specializes with working with highly sensitive children. And as a highly sensitive parent herself, highly sensitive parent myself, every time we sit, we just can't stop talking. We want to help these children because we know that the more we know about them, the more we learn about ourselves as well. And the more we can sort of curate their lives and help them navigate the difficulties that come along with being a sensitive child in a very insensitive world. So Dana, introduce us, tell us what you do, and let's get started.
Hi, Houry. So I'm Dana Saab. I'm a mother of two, first and foremost. I'm a parenting coach for parents of highly sensitive children. And I've went into this world of sensitivity because I've supported children all my life. But when I became a mom, I realized that there was this gap of this world that nobody knows about. It's hidden. And it is my mission now to let everybody be aware of it and understand their children better and to be able to help their children thrive in this world that is kind of insensitive in a way.
So what are the characteristics of a highly sensitive child? We know there are sensory processing disorders and a highly sensitive child. Is this the same thing? Does it necessarily go hand in hand?
No, not necessarily. So highly sensitive children are more in tuned in their feelings and their emotions. They feel the world and the environment much deeper than us. Than anybody else. So they can feel, and it's more of, they can feel the sensory input, if you want, that's coming from their environment much deeper into their body. So whether it was noise or light or this sense of touch, and even more of that is more of their emotions are so big inside of their body, and it's more than they can handle. Whereas sensory processing disorder is more of a neurological disorder. So it's more of how the brain interprets what's going on and how the brain organizes the sensory input that's coming from their environment.
So do they necessarily go hand in hand?
They do overlap, definitely. There are things that are,
yes,
especially when it comes to sensory, that are very similar with highly sensitive children. That's why so many parents might get confused if their child has SPD, which is sensory processing disorder, or is a highly sensitive child. And also highly sensitive children do not need to be diagnosed as highly sensitive children. When the parent feels so deeply and can relate to the things they read about highly sensitive children or what they know about highly sensitive children, and they feel like they can relate so deeply to one of the signs that they see in their children, and trust me, their feeling will tell them that, they're going to know that their child is highly sensitive.
So what are the things that usually make parents notice that their child is highly sensitive? Because sometimes it can be even accredited to, mood. I remember as a child, I used to hear the word, she's moody. Yeah. But now that I know a lot more about my son, I understand how I was as a child. I understand why I felt this need, to close my bedroom door and sit in my room, or to self-regulate by curating my environment so that it's soothing and whatnot. I had no idea what I was doing at the time. But now that I know how my son is, how sensitive he is, I understand. So how do parents usually find out that their child is sensitive?
There are three things I'll tell you the most common things that parents usually tell me. It's, why is it so different? Why is it so difficult? Why is he being so difficult? Another thing, they would say that they feel like they're walking on eggshells. They know that's like a blow up that's going to happen very soon. And another thing, they say that they've tried all kind of discipline methods and parenting methods, whether it was gentle or the traditional one, and nothing works. So this is mainly the parents' concerns when they come to me.
Okay. So for me, my personal experience was that, you know, I had a colic baby. I had gone through a trauma during pregnancy. And at that time, I switched from, you know, the PR work I was doing in lifestyle to child development, early learning. And I feel like a lot of parents, that happens to a lot of parents, once they realize their child is highly sensitive, they want to learn more. Absolutely. So how important is it for parents to understand and learn about, you know, how to parent a highly sensitive child, for example?
Once the parent understands what is highly sensitivity and that it's a temperament trait, it is not, there's nothing to fix, there's nothing to change in their child, and they understand how does their child process the environment around them, and they start realizing that there's nothing to fix or nothing to change, and all what they need to do is to understand that system, his nervous system, and be aligned and connected emotionally to this child, and learn the way to help him thrive in this world, because this world can be hard for him, and the way he sees the world around him. So this is where our job comes in, to support this child and to embrace his sensitivity and not see it as a weakness, see it as a strength that they can, and the world needs sensitive children. Yeah.
And I think the more we know, the more we can, as I said, I love this word, curate. The more we can curate our children's lives. And the reason I say this, because as a first-time parent, when I had my son, and we had a lot of issues with his sleep. So at 13 months, I finally had a sensory profile done for him. And of course, it turns out he had a mixed sensory profile. And for me, the red flag was that one day, you know, he had just started walking and he randomly carried an extremely heavy table and just walked across the room. So I knew then something was off, okay? And I think what brought me down a lot during that time is when it comes to sleep and all this information around sleep. And when we're sleep-deprived parents, we're extremely vulnerable. So it was this, you know, when is your child going to sleep through the night? You know, the PTSD of sleeping through the night. Yeah. So eventually at 13 months, when we had the sensory profile done, the first thing the therapist told me was, Houry, you're supposed to rock this baby to sleep. This baby should be, you know, walked in a stroller at night. This baby should be put on a swing and rocked side to side. Very contrary to what the sleep consultants, you know. So how, in your opinion, did this help you curate your child's life when it comes to the norm in society around you?
Absolutely. I totally relate, Houry, because I think we all did. We got the same feedback from the people around us, even the loved ones. They just mean well. Absolutely, they do mean well, but they wouldn't understand what's going on with your child, that all they need, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like who would state what is normal, what is not, you know? And there's nothing wrong with holding your child and giving him that pressure that he needs, that hug that he needs, that the sensory needs that he needs in order to regulate his nervous system. And that's mainly the problem, Houry, you know? Maybe we can clarify this a little bit more, that when the child's usually a highly sensitive child's nervous system is always on alert mode. So going to sleep and going into transitions, whether waking up from the morning from sleeping into waking up in the morning, or being awake in the morning and going back to sleep, those transitions can be really hard for them, because they are taking and processing so many information from the world and from their environment around them. So knowing and learning the ways and what kind of sensory input would regulate their nervous system is so important, and it just changes your life as a parent. So yeah, for my daughter, I had to carry her all night, and not all night, but until she falls asleep. We used to bed share, of course, in a safe way. I used to rock her to soothe her nervous system. She was breastfed for a longer time. Yeah, so these are things that would help her nervous system regulate. And yeah.
Do you think for the outside, especially, a collectivist cultures like our Middle Eastern cultures, it's seen as, okay, you're spoiling your child, you're over pampering your child, especially if it's a boy. Yeah. Is that something, you usually hear with the parents you work with?
Absolutely, all the time, all the time. And I just tell them, what I do with parents is that I help them feel confident enough not to bother from other people's opinion, and understanding that they're trying maybe to say whether the advice was solicited or not. It's just that they're trying, they are well meant. And so I help them understand and believe their gut instinct and be confident enough to support their children the way their children will thrive. And what do parents want other than that? And their children
we
thrive.
Mentioned something when we last met, you and I, which is a very important point. You told me you're very lucky to be a highly sensitive parent, parenting a highly sensitive child. So is my husband, by the way. Yeah. So I think when you're also that kind of person, it's easier to understand your child. So as I said, as a kid myself, I was like that. Yeah. So for example, now in the car, you were mentioning something earlier. Yeah. When we put music on, you said about knowing exactly what soothes and helps your child to regulate their nervous system. So while my son would go crazy at birthday parties and can't wait to get out of there, I'll put lion music for him in the car. He calls it lion music, which is extremely strong bass, like extremely strong. And it soothes me as well. Rock music. Yeah. So someone from the outside would say, okay, if your son is so sensitive, to sound, how is he listening to this? Yeah. But it's about being in tune with your child and noticing when something is soothing them. How can you tell? Do you look at their body language usually? Do you look at their face, their facial expression? How do you know they're relaxed?
Yes, and add to this their behavior. So how they react to this music or this sensory input, whatever it was, whether it was music or lights or noise or touch, whatever it is, or movement even. So if the movement or the noise or whatever sensory input that child is getting, if it's making him feel irritated or frustrated or after listening to that music getting like having meltdowns or just you would feel that there's something off, that means that this is not something that's regulating him. So we try to find, that's why each child is super unique. So each child had his own and his own way of self-regulating. And when the parents learn how to do that, they'll just, as I said, they'll just have the much calmer and confident and a connected relationship with their child, and understanding that what they're doing, that tantrum or meltdown or whatever behavior they're showing is just a message. It's a sign telling the parent, my nervous system needs help, Yeah. So it depends. And also the sensory sensitivities, they can fluctuate and they can be different in each sense. So yeah, we can dig so much deeper in that. We've learned that we have 5 senses, but the truth is we do have 8, and all of these senses they help us live our life as simple as like us being in this room, talking, the feelings, the emotion, the intensity, the texture, that has all to do with sensory input into your body. So this is how we live, this is how we move on, this is how we process life and just go by our days. So understanding what are things that are stimulating, what are things that are relaxing, what are things that are regulating is such a big piece of parenting.
So I remember as a child, Dana, I was very in tune with how my body was feeling physically, and when my body wasn't on, what would I say, like heightened alert. Yeah. So, things like my heart beating really fast. I would even get like stomach cramps, and it kind of peaked in high school in my senior year, and it stayed with me in university. So I feel like parents should know that the earlier we start supporting our kids, with learning how to self-regulate, learning how to recognize when their body is in a heightened state of fight or flight, it will affect them in the long run in many things, whether it's taking exams, stress in school, university, even finding a job, even entering the workforce. So how do you think we can teach our kids to recognize when their body is on high alert? What are some things they should look out for?
So now, when they're still children, we are supporting them, we are modeling, we are having conversations, we are coaching them, we are guiding them. So we are there with them. So we are their floating nervous system, if you want to call it. So this is the way they co-regulate with us at the beginning. They co-regulate with us. They need us to be their mature nervous system and their mature brain, if you want. And when they grow older, as much as they're being coached and supported by us, they will start learning and knowing exactly what are the things that help them feel soothed and relaxed, and what are the things that help them, that makes them like overstimulated. And then when they become adults, they know, like, for example, I think you would relate to this. For example, if you're going into a place that is very crowded and it's very noisy and lots of loud music and people, and so that once you're done with that event, you will go and find yourself a way to wind down, to relax, to have this those breaks, so that you can move on into the next activity you have, or the next thing that you need to do, So this is when they start understanding. And what's the difference is, I have this question that so many parents ask me. They would say, like, what if we never knew and they just grew just as like we did? Absolutely. So I'm like, the difference is very simple. It's very small, but it makes a huge difference. Is that they know that there's nothing wrong with them. When they are older and they are adults that are going to go to this world on their own, and had been supported with their parents all along, they would know that there's nothing wrong with them, and this is just the way they thrive in life. And they would know, like, we're not here to protect them from things that are gonna happen. We are here to just guide them and coach them. Okay, so there are difficult moments. Yes, there are so many difficult things that they're gonna face in life, and yes, they're gonna face it. The difference is we're gonna tell them, and we're gonna show them and model to them that what they are feeling is normal, and this is a feeling that's going to pass. And they're gonna know that there is something. When children get into that flight mode and they get really super nervous and super overstimulated, and they get this meltdown, they think that the world is ending right now. The emotions are too big to them to really see that there's hope, that they're going to calm down in a bit. So that's all they see. So when they learn that these are their feelings, this is how they know how they will learn how to organize and understand and regulate their nervous system with our modeling of self-regulating and our guidance. This is when they're going to learn, when they grow up, that there's nothing wrong with them. This is the way I thrive, and they will just fly high.
Turn it into strength.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, Dana, we're living in a very overstimulated world.
Yes.
For the parents who, maybe need a bit more of an explanation as to what overstimulation is, could you, for example, take different environments, let's say school, a mall, a supermarket, common places we visit
Great
with our
question.
kids, and could be extremely overstimulating. I mean, we're not living on a farm. I think we all. I think now everyone has a dream of living on a farm, raising farm animals and stuff. But we're not. So especially in a city like Dubai.
Like Dubai, yes.
Can you explain to us, for example, these three places? How can they be overstimulating? Not just to kids, but adults as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely that. It's for kids and adults, it's all the same. The difference is that when you're an adult, you have a more you are more aware of your emotions and how you're going to put them and like organize your feelings if you want, and like to know, like maybe you would know that you need to take a break, or you need to take a deep breath, or you need to just change the state to calm yourself down, and you have the ability to actually calm yourself down. Whereas for kids, this can be really hard, and they won't be able to know how to do that on their own. And they will learn eventually. This is something we need to tell parents as well, that they will learn. Eventually they will, with our support. For example, like
Let's say
a
the
child
mall.
going to a mall.
Yeah.
All right. A mall or a supermarket, it's the same mainly. It's a huge part of it's a huge area of full of sensory input. There's the loud, the colors, the places, the crowd, the shops.
Sensory nightmare, I think.
It is just
At least for me, it
a
is.
sensory chaos. So imagine them, and some kids love going there, even if they are highly sensitive. They love going there.
The sensory seekers.
No, even highly sensitive children, the seekers, absolutely, but even highly sensitive children, they might love going to the mall because they want to go enjoy their time. They wanna go play or whatever. But the difference is that we as parents, when we understand that this is going to be overstimulating, like there's lots. So what is overstimulating?
What are some tips? How can we prepare them?
Absolutely. So, but just let me just tell you what is overstimulating. So that means when a lot of sensory input from different senses is coming into their body, and it becomes too much for their nervous system to handle, that becomes overstimulation. Okay? And what we need to do is, as parents, to be aware of that and know that there might be a meltdown happening, and we need to prepare our child, especially our highly sensitive child, that we are going to the mall or to the supermarket or to the birthday party, and there will be lots of noise, lots of things that they're gonna see around. And when they feel like it's when they feel that they have like really big feelings and they have something is bothering them, they could come to you and they could like find a way to help regulating themselves. Like, for example, they might get the earmuffs, not earmuffs, headphones, noise isolators, or something that is like a fidget toy, or something that would help them, something, or like a slime, or anything that might help the child regulate their nervous system, that is sensory.
Can we list some more things that help? Like for me, we wouldn't go at night, because
Absolutely.
that white light in the mall is very it's irritating.
Yes, you
So
would
usually
be
we go during the
aware
day.
of your schedule planning, and you'll know that. For example, here, especially here in Dubai, I think everywhere else nowadays, like parents believe that they need to put them in like hundreds of activities at the same time, after school activities. And for a highly sensitive child, this could be really overwhelming. And this is when the parent will start understanding that, no, this is not working for our child. They will adjust even the type of activity that they're going to put their child in. Their schedule is not, for example, if they have 2 birthdays in a day, they're going to choose 1 birthday and not going to 2. There is this social pressure as well here. So so when the parent is mindful and aware of their child's unique needs, they will be able to adjust their environment to to be aligned with their child's needs. So
I love that you mentioned extracurriculars. That's a soft spot for me.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like in the first few, I think I would say until age 6, whatever I tried, he was not having it. Even though he was extremely talented, whether it was football, parkour. So then, we gave it some time. And once I started really very selectively choosing activities for him, he was thriving beyond belief. And I can see it in his face, in his body language. So him being mixed profile, We chose jujitsu for him. You can tell it's meant to be for him. And
Absolutely.
actually, a lot of people vouch for jujitsu when it comes to highly sensitive
Yes.
children and children with sensory processing. Chess, art.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, what would you advise parents when it comes to choosing the right extracurriculars in terms of timing, scheduling? How would they know? Because we do get as well another school of thought that says, you have to encourage the child. You can't just listen to them from the first time when they say, I don't want to do this, I want to drop it. Then
Yeah.
you're getting them used to giving up. So there's two opposing views. What would you say about this?
I would say the best of both worlds. Okay, so first of all, we need to know what are the interests of the child. Every child is different. Some activities might be overstimulating for some, and some might be regulating for others. So we need to know mainly things that are. Actually, I really can't tell what exactly is, but usually the calmer activities are the best. And what's more important of choosing what activity is how many activities are we putting during the day. So during the week as an overall. Is my child going every single day to an activity and he's coming and I see a behavior that's going on, like the meltdowns, the tantrums that's happening after, or nagging or crying for things that are really maybe not really like he wouldn't be crying on for in other situations, or irritation. So these are things that you can see as signs that, okay, so this child is getting too much stimulation. So we need to just, adjust their schedule and make it just calmer for them.
I think music lessons are a really good one as well.
Yeah, everything.
It just
That's
came
why
to mind
music,
now.
arts, gymnastics, all of these activities are great. There isn't something that might be there isn't something that I would say they're not allowed to do that. It's just that every child will process any activity the way their body does. So we as parents, we would know what are the things that are helping my child and what skills do I want to instill in my child, and how many, the frequency of the activities during school days, during the weekend. Am I like bombarding him with too much? Remember, there is the school, there is the play dates, there is malls, there is family, friends, and events, and birthdays, and activities. So this is quite too much. Just saying them, you would feel anxiety starts to kick in.
Even for us as adults as well. But I think on this point, I want to say how important it is to get a sensory profile done for your child.
Absolutely.
And, I did that at Hope. And it put so many things into perspective. And then we started our occupational therapy sessions with the amazing Zoe. And she taught me so much about him. And I think it was through her sessions that we geared him towards jiu-jitsu, because during her sessions, she does a lot of, compression kind of activities where he's pushing and he's pulling because of his mixed profile and the sensory seeking. And then that's exactly the moves he does in jiu-jitsu.
True.
So we found such an amazing synchrony between the activity and his sensory needs. And I feel like the OT can really help parents help guide them towards the right activities.
And the thing is, what I want to say here is that the child doesn't need to be diagnosed to have this kind of support in parallel. So whether your child has SPD or anything else, or just highly sensitivity, and you feel that there is a need here in helping the child in regulating, or in if you feel that there was something, and when you see there's something off, just doing that early intervention is super helpful. And I always work with parents hand in hand. So I work with the parents, and in parallel their children are going into sessions like yours, your son in Hope.
I think what helped us in getting a sensory profile done is that I was able to extend my support beyond the center and into our home. So
absolutely,
whatever we were doing in our sessions with Zoe, she would give me a sensory diet. So
Yes.
how I can do these different exercises, turn them into games. I mean, we need those, especially that we can't go out, currently or play outside. So I would
Yeah.
recreate all these games and activities for him at home.
Yes.
Whether it's, the yoga ball, which we're going to get more into when we do our next episode with Zoe. But I want to talk about the home, now that we mentioned it.
Yes.
It's so sacred for me.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's such a little haven, especially for sensory
Absolutely.
kids. My son, honestly, he would be totally okay in not leaving the house.
Yeah.
Like ever.
Yeah.
And not because, for example, he wants to sit and watch TV or play Nintendo. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Even if he's not doing anything, it's like his safe zone, his haven. So I want to ask you, what are some different tips we can give to parents to make the home more soothing, less overstimulating for, for children?
The first thing I would say is decluttering, taking things, making things simple in the room, something to be more of,
Accessible to them?
Accessible, absolutely. And what I mean here is like things that are just not, how nowadays the playrooms are like another toy store, and and you can just sell the toys that are in the playroom. So just having reduced stuff and toys in the room, dim lights maybe if the child prefers dim light, sensory toys as in things that would help the child and feel like calm his nervous system, like things like slime or bouncy ball, the exercise ball, or the weighted blanket. There are things that highly sensitive children would regulate their nervous system more in using these kind of support. And this is when we learn. It depends on the child. This is when we learn how to create the right environment at home for our children.
I would say as well, a lot of maybe natural fabrics, colors, lots of wood.
There's something you said about TV and screens. This is so important as well, like to reduce screens and TV. And
I think we're going to get into that because we don't have a lot of time. I'm going to do a whole session on that.
Absolutely. But just one thing is that I don't know, it's something that is in our culture or not, but usually, the TV is on 24 hours.
Background noise.
And the background noise. So this is one thing, like we definitely cut. We cut completely, for example, in our home, so that it's can.
I have a few other things I added as well into our playroom. So we recently got a lava lamp.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
so soothing at night.
Yes.
We also have, the orange glasses that we wear once, like at night for the anti-UV.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
For example, with my daughter, those glasses would never work. She cannot stand them. She can't see that kind of reflection or that in her eyes. So that's really super important, that each child would have a different kind of support, even in terms of stuff that we're going to provide at home. So I just don't want parents to go and like buy things here and there, just thinking this is going to help their child. It might and it might not. So we need to explore.
I think it depends on the screens as well. So that's mainly used for light. For the kitchen light is on. So usually for us, like as a family, we start switching to these glasses. Once nighttime hits. Because it also signals to your brain to start getting ready to sleep.
That's right. She can't stand them.
I think I would love
we had to change them.
I would love to do another session where we focus on each room in the house.
Yes.
Because we said the playroom.
Absolutely.
There's also, different spaces. The bedroom is a big one.
Yes.
How to create a soothing sleep environment.
Yeah.
So I think we have still a lot of things I would love to
transitions.
talk about.
I think we really need to talk about transitions. This is a big thing with highly sensitive children.
So let's say morning routine. Stay tuned for the morning routine before school, after school meltdowns, prepping for bedtime, and bedtime itself. I think we should add in eating
and predictability,
lunch, dinner.
routines, things to know before prepping them before going out. So many things we can talk about, Houry. I think it's going to be endless.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you so much.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this session. We have a lot more to come, but if you have any questions you want to send us, please feel free to do that, and we'll touch on it during our next episode.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.